So this is not exactly going the way I was hoping it would. Um, but let me just tick off that spell because I've used it. Um, so actually, I think the spell only lasts a turn. Duration targets next turn. So anyway, she's going to come round after we've sort of tied her to a chair. Now, I just cannot see this NPC being very cooperative once she knows her husband's dead, um, and we've broken into the house and killed her husband. It's not a very auspicious start, and I don't think any amount of uh, kind of telling that we came here to try and solve the problems on the farm is going to help. I go through the motions anyway. I will try and explain to her you know, that we're really really sorry for her husband's death. He drew the weapon, and um, now I'm wondering there is a diplomacy. I am going to try and roll diplomacy, see if I can uh, 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 convince her. Um, so I'm still using that DC 15, and no, um, that was complete failure. Um, so yeah, she kind of just I imagine this kind of cold stare, baleful stare. She um, really doesn't trust us, um, and I really don't know how to. Well, Callan really doesn't know how to deal with her. Chances are that she's going to accuse us of murder if the minute she gets to town. Um, we can't leave her here completely undefended, so we've got to take her back to town. Um, I wonder if Simon can talk any reason into her. The chances are he's going to make it worse, but he's going to have a go anyway. And amazingly, he actually does. You, I, um, you, I can imagine he sort of says that he's really sorry for for killing her husband. He was armed. It's a long, rambling, bumbling sort of explanation, and he actually manages to calm her down. I can imagine she's not still not going to be happy with us. She's going to be starting into the grieving process, um, but at least we can untie her, and she's not going to kill us. So that's a, a minor win. Um, but what we try and do is we try and explain to her that we're here to um, we'd heard that the farm was being corrupted, and it's not the only one, and that's why people are turning to banditry, and so just to survive, sort of thing. So we uh, what we'd like to do is try and solve that problem. And what can you tell us about it? Now, I have two theories that I was thinking about this in between sessions. Is one, the most logical one is the Nightblades had a Bloodseeker, um, and there was meant to be a whole flock of them. And one of the rumours were that they were draining the blood from animals. Now, it would make sense that if the Nightblades had some of these nesting in the tower, and the Night Lord had one as a pet, which we fought and killed, they must be living off something. So if something was actually draining all the blood and killing all the livestock, that would be a major blight upon the farms. So that's my theory A. Or my second theory is that there is some other uh, creature that probably an intelligent creature that is trying to drive away the farmers, and it is using its uh, knowledge. Maybe it's poisoning water, it's killing animals, or salting the earth and that sort of thing. Um, so these are the two competing theories. So now I think the Sturge, oh sorry, the Bloodseeker one is by far the most likely. So I'm giving myself a +5 there, and I'm going to use the Oracle to see whether she confirms that story. So let's roll, and the question is about Sturges, and she's rolled yes and. So um, this is 7.03, I think. Of our blood seekers, the root of the problem. Yes, and yes, the blood seekers are killing the livestock. But what does the and mean? Um, Now maybe right, and the nightblades were um, offering people join them or else. So the actual truth of what's going on here was the nightblades were going out in recruiting people, and if they joined, then great, the farms were less safe. If they refused to join, then the Bloodseekers were released, and they were killing the livestock. And the only way to call off an attack was to um, for someone, one of the family, to join the Nightblades. So that was the game. It was kind of like an extortion protection racket sort of thing. And so Jude had refused to join the Bloodseekers, the Nightblades, and they had been sending the Bloodseekers after them and killing the cattle, and probably poisoning the watercourse and all that sort of thing. Um, so I've now actually got a genuine kind of a logical explanation for what's really going on here. Um, oh, that should be 7.04. And for all the good it can do, we can reassure her that actually we've taken out the Nightblades and they won't be coming back. Um, and yeah, it's a bit of a sorry state, but I can imagine that she told us that there was a whole flock of Bloodseekers, but we've only killed one. So the problem we've got is that these things are going to want to go out and feed, um, probably uncontrolled now. Uh, so yeah, we've really, to solve the problem, we have to kill the Bloodseekers, and so now we know what we need to do. Um, and the best thing we can do is offer to take her into town, and I imagine she will refuse because she's probably going to want to bury her husband, and this is her home. So, does she refuse to come with us? Um, yes. Yeah, yeah, and she never wants to see us again. I don't need to save that question, really. That was kind of obvious. So, yeah, that's it. I think we're going to head back into town, and uh, yeah, we're going to stay on the main highway, and uh, yeah. So I now clearly know what our next adventure is going to be, or the next encounter at least. We are going back to the and I've forgotten the name of the tower. Is it the Lonely Torch? Um, so well, it was on one of the yeah, the Lonely Torch. There you go. We need to go back there and hunt down the Bloodseekers. So I think we might need to prepare a little bit for that. So actually, I'm going to roll a law. Actually, no. And does what's nature? Does that help me with creatures? Um, okay, so I'm going to roll nature and see whether I know anything about Bloodseekers. Um, oh, natural 20. Yeah, cool. So I'm going to actually read up on Bloodseekers myself and see if there's anything that Callan would know about Bloodseekers that might help me, and I will do that between the next sessions, and I'll end that one for today. Just a short session. What's that? Half an hour or so. Okay. Thank you for watching.